Good morning, friends, wherever you might be, and welcome to today's Cichlids and Coffee. And I am Ben Ochart, as most of you know, and today I'm drinking out of our new Cichlids and Coffee cup. And this was the idea of Marla Craig. Marla, if you're out there, thank you so much. The flip side just says very simply, Cichlids and Coffee. So, these are now available, and I will be actually giving one of these away today. And I have a special notice that I'll flash on the screen for you. At some point in today's live stream, we're going to go ahead and do a giveaway, and the giveaway will be a mug together with one of these awesome aquarium co-op towels. Who can't use a towel in their fish room? And these things really do absorb. And also a set of the brand new stickers. These are brand new stickers that just arrived. So, as a matter of fact, I think what we'll do is every any super chat today will get stickers, a couple of those brand new stickers. Just send me your address to the ben.o.cichlid@gmail. And any super chat today will go ahead and get a set of the brand new stickers. And but at some point today, we will do a drawing, and that person will, the winner, within the 48 states, because shipping is just ridiculous. And as much as I love the folks who watch all over, right? I think we have someone on from Belgium, the Netherlands. We get them from Australia, certainly the UK, South America, Mexico, all over the place, Canada. They're all over. But for shipping purposes, it's just prohibitive. I mean, to send a $5 item, it can cost you $30 to ship it. So if you're in the continental United States, at some point today, you'll have a chance to win the towel, the stickers, the mug, and a $25 gift certificate from the Cichlid Shack. All right, so stay tuned for that. That'll happen at some point. At some point today, we're going to have a nice giveaway. So let's take a quick look at who's on. Let's see here. Let me just take away this giveaway notice. And let's take a quick look at the chat and see who we have on board. Definitely share that link with your friends. Let's get as many people here as we can. And let them know that something free, something is being given away. That's always popular. People show up for the free stuff. And so let's see here. Cat Sailor, hello, Cat Sailor. Thank you for being here today. And Emma's here. And Emma from Belgium. Hey, Emma, thank you for joining us from Belgium. I've heard you have a beautiful country. Aaron Walker, sounds like a good topic. I hope, Aaron. Joyce, good morning to everyone from Florida. Hey, Joyce, I'm a lot closer to you now than I was before in California, that's for sure. And Steve Weber over in Nashville. Hey, Steve, how are you? And things in Nashville are pretty good, actually. A little rainy, a little cool. I don't mind it. And Steve Weber asking a question about the lemon Jake. Steve, it could be a variety of things. How do the fins look? Do the fins look okay? I mean, does he look tattered? Maybe he got beat up. Sometimes we just don't know. It might be the end of that fish's life cycle. I mean, that happens, and they start to deteriorate quickly, hang out the back. They don't eat. They start to lose color. So it could be a variety of things. Without actually looking at the fish, it's kind of hard to guess, but it could be a variety of things. I hope he gets better. That's always good when they do. And hello to you, Pose, disabled keeper of fish. Pose, hello to you. Paul, hello, Paul. Paul McCartney's here. McCartney. And hey, Denny. Denny and GP are here, our moderators today. And I think Kevin is going to be joining us as well. Candy's got the day off. She's out doing some family fun stuff. And hello, Ron Foss. And Daniel's here. Hello, Daniel. And David Neary. David Hebert. Hello, David. Hope you're doing well out there in Glendora. And that Irish coffee sounds delicious. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Hey, Tony. Thank you, Tony, for being here. And hey, Marla, I hope you caught my shout out. Thank you so much for that idea on the mug. I am actually drinking from your concept. Marla Craig, thank you. And Marla went ahead and ordered one right up. So she is the very first one. And David, hello, David Gett. All right, Ben, Dave here from the UK. All right. Cichlids and John, I'm still thinking about cichlids and suds. Not sure yet if I'm going to be doing that. And Gjeld Zvest Overgaard from Denmark. That's amazing. That's awesome. Thank you so much, my friend, for joining us. And Angelo, your cup will be there Monday. Good. I will see you with your coffee next Saturday then. Hey, Leo. And hey, Evan. SJ115284. Yes, there's going to be a giveaway. Greetings from Minnesota, St. Patty's weekend, Ron Foss, okay. And Carrie, thank you so much for that super chat. You will be getting some stickers. Any super chatters today, I don't care how much, you're going to get a set of the new stickers. One's the Cichlids and Coffee, and one is the new design by Vinny. That's going to be on that light fixture that's going to be hanging behind me. So all super chatters, all you have to do is send me your mailing address to ben.o.cichlid@gmail.com, and I will get them to you. Not immediately, but you will get them, I promise. All right, so let's go ahead and get on with things. I know that I missed some of you, but I can't get to all of you because I'll be on the chat all day. But support your troops and athletes. Love that name. Love that name. All right, so let's go ahead and get into today's topic. And I know some of you are wondering about it. And anyone that came on late, at some point in today's stream, there will be a giveaway. I'm going to have my youngest daughter come down here and help pick a winner. The winner should be in the continental United States. In the lower 48, because of shipping, the winner will receive an aquarium co-op towel and a brand new one, never used, still in the wrapper, a set of stickers, a mug, a coffee mug, and a $25 gift certificate for the Cichlid Shack in Tempe, Arizona. You can use it for fish, for food, for whatever you want. All right. So keep that in mind. At some point, my daughter will be down here and we will pick a winner, and I'll tell you what you need to do so that she has access to your name. So those of you who've been following the channel, you know that I've been going through a little bit of a struggle here with cichlid aggression. And by the way, can I get a quick sound and picture check? Just tell me on the chat, does the sound and picture, are they good? Just tell me on the chat. And hey, Leo, thank you for that, my friend. A Jalo Reef group. Jalo Reefs are one of my favorite fish, Leo, and I hope to get another one soon. Their color, the coloration of a Jalo Reef it's amazing. It's almost like what I like about a lemon Jake, except without the attitude, because Jalo Reefs are very, very, they're very peaceful. They're plastidochromous. So sound and video is great. Thank you, GP. Thank you for that, my friend. And I see a lot of thumbs up. Okay, excellent. Because I got a funny message from YouTube telling me that my bit rate, my audio bit rate was a little bit off, and it made me a little bit concerned. So, but okay, it looks like it's good. All right, I'll stop worrying about it. So let's get on with the subject here. I was having some issues with aggression, and I tried everything except the only thing I didn't try. Well, there's two things. There's two things I didn't try. I didn't try super stocking the tank, like putting 20 to 30 cichlids in a 55. I mean, really super stocking it in the hope that would spread out the aggression. I didn't try that. Maybe that would have worked. I probably would have had to have added another filter. Got one of my Sun 704Bs hooked up and added more water movement. I didn't try that. And I didn't try pulling everything out. Some cichlid keepers report that they had a drop in aggression after they pulled all decor, everything out of the tank. And what that did was created circumstances where there was nothing to claim. There was no territory, no object to claim as, okay, that's mine. Anyone who comes near this, I'm gonna battle with them. So so there's two other tips that or two other directions that I could have tried that I didn't try. Now, that being said, I tried quite a few things. And to make sure I didn't miss any of them, what I did is I put together a short little clip, a video, and I'm going to go ahead and play that for you right now. And it just covers what actually occurred. And let's go ahead and just do that. Let's just play this short little video, and you tell me after the video what you think in the chat. Well, I can say that I honestly tried everything, including the lowering of temperature, the adding of decor that would break the line of sight, like plants, the adding of caves, providing more hiding spots. And after several days, after that long time out in the penalty box, the Eureka Red Jake just picked up where he left off before and started to give these fish some pretty hard hits on the sides, on the tail, dorsal and anal fins, and pretty much had them corralled into the side of the tank. And so I said, okay, that's it. I've tried everything I can do, everything I know to do, and including the removal of a female, a big water change to remove the pheromones, the hormones, and adding charcoal to further remove them. And still, all I got really was a return to its nature. And I thought, and I found that to be the case with these jakes. These jakes tend to be very territorial and very, they always seem to have a bit of a jerk attitude. It's been my experience with otter points and with lemon jakes. They pick an area and they defend it. The South American, Central American tank is doing great, wondering what I'm doing over here. But as you can see, the fish are coming out. They're just fed them some pellets here, and they're all coming out. Whereas when the Eureka Red was in here, they were very reluctant to come out and eat, and of course that can lead to other problems. They would simply stay tucked away and kind of afraid to poke their heads out. But they're all participating in the feeding now, and it's just a much more overall enjoyable tank without one fish really clearing out the whole center of it and keeping everybody in the corners and really not even letting them out to come out and eat, and from time to time going into the corners and hitting them really hard, which is where you can get those kinds of hits where a fish can have its swim bladder damaged, and then you end up with a fish that's swimming around upside down and ultimately dies on you. So the fish are all behaving a lot more. They're interacting a lot more. Even that bicolor 500, which is extremely shy, an extremely shy fish, is starting to show up more in the tank. So I would say that at this stage, despite all my efforts, I am convinced that I'm not going to be spending any more time trying to change things around to try and keep that Eureka Red Jake. It's a beautiful fish. I certainly wish I could put him into this tank. Maybe if this tank was a 220 or even a 6 foot 125, maybe I could. But at this stage, his attitude is such that he is not going to be allowed back in this tank. And as you can see, the other fish, their fins are in great shape. They're curious, they're swimming around, and that's really what I want to see. I don't want to look at a tank and see a bunch of fish, hiding in the corners, and while one fish dominates and swims in circles, patrolling the middle, and that's what it had turned into. If there's a boss now, or a fish that is somewhat like a jerk, it would have to be that Phoenix. That Phoenix is a line-bred fish from the Cichlid shack. Very beautiful fish with a great blaze. But you can see the fins on some of the fish here. They're in perfect shape, so he's not really doing any real major damage. And here I just dropped some flakes in for you to take a look at with a little camera adjustment there. Whereas before, the Eureka Red would do all the eating, and then the other fish would come out reluctantly. They would eat, but very, very guardedly. This is much better, much more enjoyable for me, and I'm sure a lot less stressful for them. I'll keep an eye on that Phoenix. I mean, he can be a little bit of a jerk. He is a hybrid, and hybrids can, like with your OBs and the Eureka Red. The Eureka Red's a hybrid, and so they can certainly have an attitude. But for right now, I would say my tank is in a good shape. I'll probably bring in a few other peacocks. I'll work something out with James over at the Cichlid shack. Maybe try and reintroduce a flametail and some of the more, calmer peacocks. Even though, as you know, with cichlids, it's a roll of the dice. Any one of these fish can be violent or placid. Really, it's a bit of a luck of the draw. So the Eureka Red is going to be spending the rest of his time back in the 29-gallon until somebody in Tennessee wants to come over and pick him up. I'm willing to sell him at this point. I had someone that wanted to trade him for a fire hat, but the person was about a 3-hour drive round trip. So I'm going to look for someone more local, and he'll be staying in this tank for now, and hopefully we'll find a good home for him. So there you have it. That's the story. Decided to put it in a video form for you. I hope you enjoyed that. And at some point with African cichlids, you do need to just cut your losses. You need to really do need to move on. And no matter how beautiful the fish is and how attached you might feel to that fish, you need to, for the sake of the other fish and the sake of your own sanity, you need to move on. It was not enjoyable for me to walk up to the tank and see all the fish corralled in the corner and I would cringe when I'd see him give a fish one of those real hard hits, because that can do devastating and fatal damage to the fish. So if you're in the Tennessee area and you're interested in picking up a fish, and you have a tank where perhaps there are some bigger fish that could keep this fish in check, certainly contact me. Again, you have my email, ben.o.cichlid, and we'll work something out. I have had a couple offers of exchanges and things, but those have not worked out, just logistic wise. But real quick here, if some of you out there are interested in supporting the channel, you can by using the Amazon link to access Amazon, whether you want to get things that are fish related from my store or just to go to Amazon in general. Anything you get would give a little credit to the channel if you use that link, and it doesn't increase your price at all. You still get the same value. Also at Teespring, I'm offering a lot of good, a lot of items like hoodies and t-shirts and tank tops, as well as all the coffee mugs, including the brand new one, which we'll be giving away today, and mugs that show a lot of different fish I've had over the years, and the Fluid Situation t-shirt series and other stuff. Also, a big shout out to some of the friends of the channel, and those, of course, most primarily what I would call a sponsor, the Cichlid Shack in Arizona. If you go to the Cichlid Shack, use Shack Attack 10 for a 10% discount at checkout. Shack Attack in lowercase 10 for a 10% discount. Also, a big shout out to Higer for the equipment they sent over for review. A shout out to Expertmatic for their help with filters and pumps. To Underwater Galleries for the caves, and also to my friends over at Super Cichlids who help with the Facebook group. And certainly check out the Facebook group, Ben.O''Cichlid on Facebook, and also follow on Instagram at Ben.O.Cichlid. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, and that really helps the channel out quite a bit. So let's take a look at some of your comments, some of the things you might have said during that video, and see if I missed anything. I'm going to go over to the chat and see if I missed anything. Let's see, Carrie, did I say thanks, Carrie, for that super chat? I think I did. Thank you for that. And Leo, yes, Leo, thank you for that. I think I did say thanks for that super chat. And as I mentioned earlier, super chatters today do receive a set of new stickers. Just send me your address, your mailing address. And any comments or questions, go ahead and ask them about that video. I'll go ahead and answer them. And, you know, I know one of you said that it kind of stinks that I have to get rid of a fish, but if you've kept African cichlids long enough, it bothers you. It does bother you that you have to get rid of a fish, but it doesn't bother you as much as watching fish get torn to shreds. And I watched a lot of fish get beat up. A Xeroc, an albino strawberry, a flame tail, a flavescent. I saw a lot of fish get torn to shreds, and so it was very, very frustrating for me. So if you're a cichlid keeper, African cichlid keeper, you know that comes with the territory. And Frankie says to keep them in a Mabuna tank. Hey, big Mabunas are very tough. When Mabunas this is why I stopped keeping Mabuna, because once they get larger, they just become torpedoes, and they just really harass the heck out of my haps and peacocks. It didn't matter how big the hap or peacock was, they would go after them, and and were very protective of their cave, of their territory. And so I decided at some point to stop keeping Mbuna, even though I think Mbuna are beautiful, beautiful fish. And anyway, let's see here. Any other comments? Just go ahead and put them in there now. And I have lined it up so that my daughter comes down on the half hour, and she's going to help with the giveaway. Todd, thank you, Todd. And thank you so much for that, and thank you for the nice message. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you, AJ. Hey, Jerry Martin, love the Expertmatic. You know, there's a lot of good products out there. Expertmatic is certainly one of them. You know, you've got that Cichlid Shark. I think Tons now has a great internal filter, all black. I'm trying to get Expertmatic to come out with a black unit so that it can be kind of hidden with a black background. I've talked to them about it. Replace those white filter covers with black. But there's a lot of good units out there. The Expertmatic, you know, for the price, it's a pretty good unit. Very easy to service, and really holds a lot of gunk. I mean, as soon as you do your first cleaning, you'll be shocked at how much gunk they actually hold. So Jerry Martin using co-op sponges. Yeah, let me see here. Pose, disabled fish keeper, has a golden Mbuna who is so friendly. She likes eating out of my hand. If a golden Mbuna, is that, are you talking about like a lab? The Labochromis, the what they call them lab for short, yellow labs. Those are awesome fish. That shade of yellow, especially with that dark black accent on the fins, is beautiful. And I used to have one that was always redecorating. When I used to have a large pieces of coral as a substrate, and this Mbuna was always picking up big pieces and moving them to other parts of the tank. Was very, very cute, and I became very attached to that Mbuna. But when I made the decision to go with just haps and peacocks, I ended up giving them away, and it was kind of a sad thing. But yeah, it was a very cute fish, an adorable fish, actually. Yeah, Ron Foss, fish housekeeper. That's not an uncommon situation. Ron Foss is saying how he had to split up the tanks, and yeah, that's actually, in my mind, that's kind of a smart thing to do. That's kind of a smart thing to do, and it lets you anything you can do to minimize possible issues. And I hear from a lot of folks who are telling me, well, I keep Mbunas or I keep Jakes, or I keep them together, and it's working. And it's one of those things where it works until it doesn't work. And cichlids are a little bit crazy. I mean, all of a sudden, like some switch, I've called it a switch in their little brain will flick, and you don't know what triggered it. It might be all business as usual, and all of a sudden that switch flips. So if you can minimize percentages, how do you minimize percentages? Have an all-male tank, or if you have females, have it be a breeding group with maybe one dominant male, one subdominant male, and maybe 3 to 5 females, or have an all-male tank, and have only haps or only peacocks or only Mbuna. You'll minimize your percentages. Other tricks might include, running a lower temperature, having no decor, having lots of decor. Some of the tricks I talked about, in that short video that I played for you. So I'll tell you one thing I am getting very excited about, and just to kind of tip my hand a little bit on that 90-gallon aquarium. I think what I'm going to do on that 90-gallon is I'm going to be moving the South Americans. These South American fish have their moments. They have their chases, and they show occasional aggression. But I'll tell you something. Overall, I don't see any fin damage. I see a lot of shyness, like the Severums are very shy, and it's very rare that they actually come out. You almost have to coax them out. But for the most part, what I'm seeing is I'm very pleased with what I'm seeing in the South American, Central American mix. And so I want to expand on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 90-gallon. This is my thinking right now. And I'm going to take all of the South American, Central American fish and put them into the 90. At some point, especially when the viejas and those Severums get like huge, I'm probably going to have to move them into a 125 or a 220. So, but for their next step, their next graduation step will be to the 90. This 55, I'm debating on what to do with this 55. I might use it to grow out some predator haps. You know, get some small hawk, a small trout, a small Venusus, maybe a small linny, you know, get some small predators and maybe grow them out in the 55 and then move them to a 125 6-foot tank, or use this 55 as a home for your more peaceful fish, like your Placidochromis Jallo reef, maybe a group of Lethrinops. I love Lethrinops. My Lethrinops tank that I had before is now with Kevin Green, one of our moderators. And that red cap that I had in there, it was just, love that fish. We used to call him Photoshop. And so maybe turn this into a Lethrinops colony. I'm going back and forth a little bit with James Largo at the Cichlid Shack with some ideas, but that's sort of the transition. That's sort of the transition I'm thinking about. I'm also thinking about taking one of the 29 gallons and creating something planted. Maybe throw some rainbow fish in there, throw some tetras, you know, something like that. So I've got a lot of wheels turning right now, and I'm listening also to you, what you're telling me, the ideas that you have. I want, you know, you're giving me input. I'm taking it all into consideration, and so that's all real important to me. So it looks like I might have missed a super chat or two. Let me see here. Todd, I think I caught that one. Thank you, Todd. All super chatters will receive the new stickers. Don't forget, for those of you that came late, these are the stickers. All super chatters today, send me your mailing address to ben.o.cichlid, ben.o.cichlid@gmail.com, and I will get you your stickers. And thank you for that super chat. And I think there was one more that I missed. Robert Madrid, great channel, live chats, information, and tips. My good friend Nolan from Nolan's Aquarium got me to follow you. Keep up the great work, Ben. Hey, I miss Nolan. I miss Nolan's Aquarium. A great place, great guy, really dedicated. I think, you know, now that thinking back on California and all of the shops and people I interacted with, Nolan at Nolan's Aquarium has got to be right up there in the top. And Ron over at the Aquarium Depot in San Diego. Great shop. Two very, very dedicated, real deal, legitimate fish providers. And I think Jay Wilson just visited the Aquarium Depot in the San Diego area. What a candy store for not just for cichlids, for all types of fish keepers. Aquarium Depot in San Diego. So if you're ever down there, boy, oh boy, visit that place. And but thank you for that, Robert Madrid. Thank you so much for that. And Pose, disabled keeper of fish. Thank you for that, Pose. I appreciate that. And I'm glad Cichlids and Coffee are back also, Pose. And let's see here. Another super chat just hit. I get alerted at the top of the screen here. John Wallace. Thank you, John. Thank you so much, my friend. Ben finally picked up a very cool display tank. Went out to local fish store to pick up a 125. Wife talked me into picking up a 180. Boy, oh boy. Your wife talked you up from a 125 to a 180? Dude. And Stan, no canopy. Don't take much convincing. Wish me luck. What a great size. 180 is a great size. A preferred size for reefers. People who like to do reef tanks. A lot of depth in a 180. So you'll have a lot of turnaround room. If you do get big fish, they'll have a lot of turnaround room. A lot of depth to work with, so you can build up rockscapes and, you know, like have like vanishing points in your rockscapes. They go way in because of the big footprint, you know, the real estate that you have to work with. Certainly, if you went with Mabuna, you'd have a tremendous amount of area for caves. Just a great size tank, a 180. Love the footprint of a 180. So thank you for those super chats. And it looks like we're at 198 on the viewers. That's awesome. So let me get my daughter down here. Mallory, you up there? Hey, come on down, sweetie. Now, if you are in the continental United States, I want you to type in the chat, I want a mug. Type I want a mug in the chat. If you're in the continental United States, do that right now. And of course, hit like and hit the subscribe button. But type I want a mug. I want a mug into the chat. Go ahead and do that now. And I'll wait for you folks to go ahead and populate that chat. If you're in the continental 48, I want a mug. And I'm seeing some names pop up. We'll give you just a few more minutes to go ahead and do that. I want a mug. I'm seeing them. I want a mug. Now remember, you have to be in the continental United States for shipping purposes, and the winner will receive one mug, a Aquarium Co-op towel, one of the friends of the channel, Aquarium Co-op. If you notice, I'm wearing an Aquarium Co-op sweatshirt today. And you'll receive stickers and a $25 Cichlid Shack gift certificate that can be used for fish, or it can be used for anything you want, really. All right. Everybody wants a mug. Keep them coming. Now just put it one time, don't only once. Hey, Tony, thank you for that super chat, my friend. Tony, send me your address. For stickers, I don't care where you are in the world, I'll send you stickers. Okay, if you do a super chat, I don't care where you are in the world, I'll send you stickers for sure. It's just shipping these big things that cost too much, so we have to keep those to the continental United States. So, okay, so let's go ahead and close up the I want a mug. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 1. Okay, so that's it on I want a mug. So Mallory?
Yes.
I want you to put your finger right here on that chat. Anywhere you want. Close your eyes.
Okay.
Close your eyes.
Okay.
All right, put your finger on the chat. Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to move the chat up and down, and you're going to tell me when to stop, okay? So you tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. Pound sign SLS. Pound sign SLS. #SLS. You are the winner, my friend.
Yay!
Thank you, Mallory.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
sweetie.
Bye.
Notice she was wearing the channel sweatshirt. Thank you, honey. All right. #SLS. Please send me your mailing address, name, mailing address, and information. And I will probably have you, I'll probably have you go ahead and send, I'll send you a code that we can then, we'll figure it out for identification purposes. But send me your mailing address to ben.o.cichlid, and you are going to receive a nice package of items. $25 Cichlid Shack gift certificate. Thank you, James. A towel from the Aquarium Co-op. Thank you, Corey. And some stickers and one of our brand new mugs, which will be shipped to you separately. It'll come directly from the Teespring, which I think they've changed their name. It's just called Spring now. So congratulations on that. Everybody else who super chatted, you will receive stickers. Just send me your address. So let's go ahead and open up to questions. Sean says you can use Bosmani rainbows in the South American tank. Bosmani rainbows. Okay. Thank you so much for that tip. I am definitely going to look into that. Bosmani rainbows. I love the look of rainbow fish. I think they're beautiful. Also, have you kept angelfish? Have you kept angelfish with the South and Central Americans? And anyone that can give me a tip. I've been thinking about those koi angelfish. I think they're beautiful. And let me know what you think. Matthew Ragusa, what do you feed your cichlids? Michael, I feed them a mix of extreme, Northfin, and some extreme cichlid flakes and pellets. I also feed the Northfin cichlid food, and I also feed them the Zoomed spirulina, and also I feed them, there's a combination of things. Oh, and Piscine energetics, which is that mysis shrimp. They've come up with a way to freeze dry the mysis shrimp to maintain the nutrients. I did a whole thing called Masterclass on Nutrition, where I spoke with Nuri, the owner of Piscine, on how he's able to maintain the full nutritional benefits of the Piscine product. So I feed him Piscine as well. So it's just a combination. I never feed just one food because I don't think any one company has everything covered. So I go ahead and I go ahead and give them a combination of food to shore up and make up what one food might be weak in. And I've gotten good results with that. And Rita, what am I giving up about? It has to do with the Eureka Red. I played a whole video. I played the whole story. So the Eureka Red is now living in the 29-gallon until somebody here in Tennessee wants him. And at that point, we'll work something out. And James, thank you so much, James. I appreciate that a lot, James Manning. And Ant-Man 209 just bought an eel from my 125 and it died. Water parameters are good and temperature is good. Wow. Ant-Man, can you return it? Can you return that eel to where you got it from? Did you quarantine the eel for a while before putting him in? Did he go right into the main tank? Did he look like he was beat up? Did other fish like attack the eel? So many factors. The eel might have arrived with some disease already, some internal disease. It's hard to say. Might have gotten shocked by a shift in pH and so many factors. It's hard to say what might have killed them off. But I'm sorry to hear that. Eels are pretty amazing, actually. Kevin wants to know how many times I feed a day. I have a little teeny redfin borlei that gets fed 3 times a day. the African cichlids, which are pretty much almost at full size. I mean, they're pretty big, they're mature, they're colored up. They get fed twice a day, and sometimes I'll skip a day. And the South Americans, Central Americans, they're a good size, but they're very young. They're all very young. You could almost call them juvies. They're all going to get much bigger. They get fed 2, sometimes 3 times a day. Okay, and so it depends on how old the fish is. When they've reached full maturity, and they're, I'll feed them once a day. The Africans for sure will get fed once a day, maybe once a day with a skip day, just to clean out the intestinal tract. And I'll include some vegetables. Even in the African cichlid predator tank, I'll include some spirulina just to clean out and prevent bloat. I haven't had bloat as an issue. I will say that I did have an issue with the with one of the fish, the Otopharynx tetrastigma. That fish, and I mentioned this before, it looked like somebody put an air pump in that fish and just pumped him up. His belly was big and his eyes were bulged out. He looked like one of those goldfish where the eyes are bulging. It was horrible. And I thought he was dead. I go, this fish is dead. And I put him in a hospital tank. I put 1 tablespoon for every 5 gallons of Fritz salt. I did a 50% water change after a day or two, and then I added 1 tablespoon for every 5 gallons, just to replace the salt that I took out. And in 1 week, he returned completely to normal. It was like a miracle cure. I've never had a fish, respond to a product that quickly. This was some Fritz salt I picked up from the aquarium co-op. I've shown it to you before. Fritz A+ aquarium salt promotes fish health and reduces stress, provides essential electrolytes, promotes disease recovery, and facilitates osmoregulation, which is what I had. I had a problem with osmoregulation. Now, one thing that I stopped doing that I used to do, and I'm going to start doing again, and I'll show it to you. I was using this product. This is not salt. This is not like the salt that you get with that I just showed you, like Fritz. This is more trace minerals. And I stopped using this. I'd never had an osmoregulation or a fish blowed out like that. So I'm gonna start putting this back in the tank. It's a little bit expensive. I don't use the full dose. I use probably, in all honesty, I probably use a half dose. And, but I want trace minerals. I mean, it has calcium, magnesium. Okay, you'd expect that, right? Potassium, sodium, aluminum, iodine, iron. It has a variety of minerals in it, and it's called Cichlid lake salt. So I'm going to start using this again and just adding it with every water change. And as you know, the only minerals that our fish get are the minerals that they can absorb from the water. So if your water is lacking minerals, you don't do water changes too often, for whatever reason, you don't use, I mean, they do have an aragonite substrate, which is releasing magnesium and calcium, but there's other minerals that are vital for organ function, osmoregulation. So I'm going to start using some of that Cichlid lake salt. And it is really just trace minerals and electrolytes. And it's just the trace components that are found in the lake. Am I trying to emulate the lake? No, I'm not, because none of these fish are F0. None of these fish are from the lake. Most of these fish are, 10, 20, 30 generations into being bred, by local breeders or by breeders that then sell them. So they're far away from lake fish, but still, after thousands of years, they probably need those minerals in the water. I haven't used Cichlid Trace by Seachem. What do you think about it? Maybe I'll check it out. It sounds like it does what this does. This is also a Seachem product. Seachem and Fritz are my two favorite companies, at least for now. So any questions or comments? Go ahead and let's go ahead and go at them right now. And Brandon, quite possibly, I am getting a lot of those minerals in the from the aragonite. That is very possible. The aragonite is providing a lot of those minerals, primarily calcium and magnesium. There are some more exotic trace minerals that might not be in there. So it's just a matter of kind of covering your bases. I'm not using the full dose because it would get real expensive real fast. But, I just like to have the water be a little bit more mineral rich for the fish. Let's see here. It looks like GP uses salt and buffer with every water change. So again, I mean, we get into a pattern. We get into a combination of steps of what works. If it works for you, keep doing it. If it works for you, keep doing it. If you've been getting long-term results, don't change because some dude or some gal on YouTube made a suggestion. Don't go chasing those suggestions. If you have a working, stable tank, if you have a tank that has been sketchy, and you get these weird issues like sudden die-off and an illness every few months, some illness turns up or something's going on. Maybe consider doing things differently, right? If things are working, be a little reluctant to change things. If things are not working, maybe you should change things. However, very often when those kind of circumstances exist, a tank that's disease prone, a tank that has die-offs that are not because of an obvious issue like a killer fish, but just random fish dying here and there, then very often it goes back to basics, absolute basics. In other words, the person isn't putting the work in, they're not doing the maintenance of the tank, water changes are not being done, filters not being maintained, water parameters are not being checked, and something may have crept up. Something is going on. It usually comes back to basics, absolute basics. And it doesn't have to involve adding, something expensive or exotic or doing all kinds of weird steps. More often than not, it's something very, very basic. Maybe every time you do a water change and you're filling the tank from the tap, right around that same time, someone in the house takes a shower or runs the dishwasher or starts the washing machine, and the temperature goes way down or goes way up, and you don't know because you never check it once it starts running. And so you're burning your fish or you're shocking them with cold water. Who knows? Something is going on. It's basics. It's usually basics. So let's take a look here. Jonathan, Ben, have you ever had a cichlid that wouldn't eat no matter what you fed them? I've tried feeding different foods and even added garlic guard by Seachem. Every other fish eats the foods but him. something's wrong with that fish, Jonathan, and either that fish is being harassed. You know, when a fish is being harassed, I mean, how do the fins look? Do the fins look like he's getting nipped? Do the sides look like he's been hit by another fish? Because that's how the pecking order in a tank, that's how it'll work. And the senior, the dominant fish will eat, and the subdominants will either eat, will try and sneak in a feeding, or they'll not eat at all. Or that fish has something going on internally. You may have a parasite. I'd pull that fish out, maybe use something like maybe some General Cure, maybe API General Cure, maybe some Paracleanse, some Fritz Paracleanse. That might work. Something to flush that fish out, get their system going. Even a salt treatment wouldn't be a bad idea. Salt's kind of the miracle cure. I know in Europe, you can't get a hold of a lot of the antibiotics and tropical fish drugs that we can get a hold of here. And so in Europe, salt becomes the go-to for a lot of fish keepers, and it can be very, very effective for a lot of issues. But yeah, I would separate that fish out. I have one food, my secret go-to food is the cobalt. I think it's omega-1 frozen cichlid cubes. Omega-1 frozen cichlid cubes. That's my go-to. When I used to have a very finicky eye biter. He wouldn't eat, or he would eat like crazy, but he'd stay thin. I pulled him out several times for parasite treatment, put him back in. Very active, very colorful, always had a little bit of a sunken belly. He wouldn't fatten up. And so sometimes the only thing I could get him to eat, especially after I first got him, was the omega-1 cichlid cubes. It's got some great ingredients in it. Doesn't have a lot of preservatives or fillers, but it also has a lot of garlic in it. Now, you say you've tried garlic. Maybe this type of garlic, maybe your fish will respond to that type of garlic. So I'm going to go back and look at your comments and see if something jumps out. And I hope that helps. Eamon Fountain, be sure to check the replay so you can see the short video on the Eureka Red Jake. There's a video on the Eureka Red Jake. Hey, Evolution 8R, your 100 Clear for Life is doing good. About 63 fish. Oh my goodness, with a 704B, turning over the tank 10 to 12 times. This is the person who bought my 100 acrylic in California. A beautiful tank. This was with the black Imaginarium sand, had the black sand and the black background. And I was running it with an algae scrubber and a Fluval FX7. And boy, oh boy, send me a video, will you? You've got my email, ben.o.cichlid@gmail. Send me a video of that aquarium. That's awesome. Good to hear. Dwight Donaldson installed an auto water changer. That's amazing. If I get a lot of, if I had a tremendous number of tanks running, I would definitely go into a auto changer, auto water changer. Freddie Vara, UV lights work. The UV lights in the that come in the canister filters, they're okay. They help to clarify the water. They kind of get a similar result that you would get if you were to put Sechem Purigen. If you put Sechem Purigen in your filter, you get kind of a similar result to running that UV in a canister. Kind of clarifies the water a little bit. I only would run it on weekends because otherwise the UV can deteriorate the baskets in the canister. At least that was what some people were reporting with the Sun canisters. For a true UV effect, where it's killing spores and viruses and bacteria, and where you're getting a true UV effect, you need to get a UV twist. and it needs to run off of its own pump, a slow gallon per hour pump that runs the water slowly through the UV twist and back to the tank. That's the way to get the true benefits of UV. So JCal, thank you JCal411 for that super chat. I have a termite tent. I have to termite tent my house. My neighbor is letting me use their garage to store my fish. What would be the easiest process in tangerine them? Will they be okay in buckets with air and heaters? Consider getting some big styrofoam, the kind of styrofoam things that are inexpensive that you use for picnics. Just a big styrofoam container, get a few of them, and those work. Those work. Styrofoam containers, the people who ship live fish, like James Largo, he includes styrofoam containers in the boxes. And so I'm reluctant to throw those boxes away because those styrofoam containers, you can fill them up with tank water and yeah, run a bubbler. You can put a heater in there if you want. I wouldn't let the heater touch the sides. That works. Buckets work. Any kind of tubs work, right? You can go to Home Depot and buy some of those plastic black tubs with those yellow tops. Fill those up. Those work. Those are very rugged and they hold water unless it's got a crack or something. But there's a lot of ways you can go. I've heard that people have covered the tanks in plastic and left them in the house. But that's a risk. That's a real powerful poison they use. Those are nerve paralytic poisons they use when they tent and spray. And that can be pretty toxic. And definitely be sure to wash all your dishes and spoons. That stuff is nasty. Christopher Lopez, thank you for that super chat, my friend. Very appreciated. And Freddie Vera, yes, separate UVs are best. Nothing works better than a separate UV with its own separate pump at, under 100 gallons an hour. And, running that water slowly through the twist and then back up to the tank. When you're running it at 300 to 500 gallons an hour, that water isn't really making much contact with that UV. So the spores, bacteria, and viruses are going to get through. All right. So for those of you who haven't, be sure to hit that sub button and the bell and the subscribe. I think we run at about 27%. People that watch the video have subscribed. Hit that sub button and notification button. That way you'll never miss anything. And be sure to come over to that Facebook group, Ben O' Cichlid. Great group of fish keepers. All types of fish keepers are welcome, not just cichlids. And very helpful. No trolls allowed, so it's safe to ask your questions. And for some behind the scenes, come on over to ben.o.cichlid on Instagram. Add Gmail to the end of my Instagram, and that's my email address if you want to write to me. Okay? So with that being said, thank you to all you super chatters. Congratulations to the winner of today's giveaway. And don't forget to send me your address, anybody who super chatted, for your free stickers. And thank you to my moderators, Denny, Kevin, GP, you're the best. And I hope to see you all next Saturday. And tomorrow, I'm going to do a video on the Starry Night Cichlid. Tomorrow, there's going to be a Cichlid profile video on the Starry Night. One of my favorite, what's becoming one of my favorite cichlids. Beautiful fish. The Starry Night. Tune in tomorrow. It should hit at about 8 a.m. Central. All right? So catch that. And that's it for me. Thank you, folks. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye.